If you're driving through Albuquerque, just about the last thing you'd expect is for a police officer from, say, Santa Fe to pull you over. It happens, and as Dean Staley reports on special assignment, they can do it sometimes.
I'm a female by myself. He's 45 miles out of his jurisdiction. I'm worried about him not being legitimate.
It was an early February morning, and Danielle Mares was headed south on I-25 in Sandoval County. She was pulled over for speeding by a City of Santa Fe police officer.
He's obviously a Santa Fe police officer, and he's pulling me over 45 miles outside of his jurisdiction, kind of rose a red flag.
Santa Fe officer Chris Sandoval was off duty driving home to Rio Rancho when Mares passed him in the right-hand lane. His report says he clocked her going 85 miles an hour. So Mares, who was pregnant, asked the officer if he was out of his jurisdiction.
I need to see your driver's license, registration, and insurance. Are you refusing to give me your driver's license, registration, and insurance? No, ma'am.
Okay.
It's Sandoval County.
Is this out of your jurisdiction?
No, ma'am, it is not.
Really? I'd like for you to call back up, please.
Mares felt she had good reason to be concerned about the traffic stop.
I just read about this other Santa Fe police officer that has been harassing, for years he's been harassing women.
That was former Santa Fe police officer Michael Iskant. News 13 first told you about the complaints and allegations against Iskant back in January while he was still an officer. A month ago, he admitted to stalking one woman and harassing two others. But Mares remembered one other thing about that story. Iskant also admitted to 2 counts of attempted false imprisonment after pulling over 2 people on I-25 in the middle of Albuquerque. That's why Mares says she questioned Officer Sandoval.
Tristan, do you have any questions I can answer for you right now?
Are you registered?
It's required by law in the state of New Mexico to be current and valid on the license plate. Okay.
Sandoval ignores her, so Mares makes the backup call to the Sandoval County Sheriff's Office herself. Some agencies, including the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department, discourage their officers from making stops outside the primary jurisdiction unless there's an immediate threat to public safety. And even then, they ask their officers to call the local authorities. But the Santa Fe Police Department has no such policy.
And there's situations that there's a time and a place for it.
Turns out Officer Sandoval is cross-commissioned in Sandoval County. That means the Mares stop was completely legal. So why doesn't he tell Mares that?
Quite honestly, as I recall, he was walking backwards, and I'm not sure if he even heard the question, so I can't speak to that.
But on the tape, you can clearly hear Mares asking Sandoval about his jurisdiction.
Registration, do you have any questions I can answer for you right now?
Are you registered?
It's required by law in the state of New Mexico to be current and valid on the license plate.
I would think he would provide her with that information. Now, the reason he didn't, I don't know.
Officer Sandoval did not want to speak to us, but Santa Fe police reviewed the stop and say Sandoval did nothing wrong. Sandoval County Sheriff Doug Wood also says he has no problem with the stop. Chief Rael says he will review his department's policy, and he may limit his officers from making traffic stops outside the city. In cases like this one, he may also require them to explain to people they pull over outside the city that they do have jurisdiction. On special assignment, Dean Staley, KRQE, News 13.
Officers who are commissioned in other jurisdictions can legally pull you over for any infraction, but you are within your rights to ask an officer about his commission.